What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. So I was just gonna do a quick short video for you guys because I have a pretty busy day. So we're just gonna do a video on 2026, the numerology for 2026, breaking down the energy form and how to utilize that energy for yourself. So we're in 2025 now, about to transition into 2026. Now, obviously, we know if you've been familiar with my videos, or you just have knowledge on astrology and astronomy, you know that the New Year's starts during April. You know what I mean? Actually starts during April, not January. But that's for a different video. But either way, though, we're still in a new year coming up. So to break down the numerology video, we've got to break down the numbers first. So in 2025, if you add all those numbers up, it comes back to the number nine, because anything more than nine is a compound. So it's from one to nine. So this year is 2025, and we're in the year nine. Year nine is the last number, right? It's the last process of evolution. You know what I mean? So nine, if you relate nine to astrology, that is Sagittarius, and nine has to do with expansion. It has to do with growth, wisdom, experience, and that's what a lot of people have went through. They've gained the lesson. You know what I mean? Because that's what you learn. Once you gain the lesson, you start becoming a student. Now you can become a teacher. So now that you're a teacher, now you've learned the lesson, you've learned the experience. Now you know, okay, this is what I have to do when I start next year. And next year is the year of number one. So having year number one, you're starting again. You're utilizing the Aries energy. You're going back to the beginning. You're going back into spring. You're going back into creating a new identity, a new image for yourself. You know. So it's very important that you have learned the lesson for this year. What your mistakes, your losses, and things like that, and what you need to work on. It's very important. So we can take a stroll and just walk up and down. But yeah, now that we're in the year number nine, you have to make sure that you've learned how to expand from your current situation. You're learning how to give birth to something new. So when next year comes, 2026, which is the year number one again, you're a new person. You've created a new identity. You've created a new vision for yourself. You've created a new goal for yourself. The number one energy is the Aries energy, you know, and that's fire. So you need to burn away any old and outdated person, place, or things that is keeping you stagnant. You got to be more impulsive. You got to be more aggressive with your goals and your visions. You know what I mean? You don't think about. You're not thinking now about, because if you're in the year nine, we're in the year nine, so you might have more of the energy of the Sagittarius energy, where it's like you want to include other people. You want to expand, your current, you know, environment, and add more people to it. All right. I'm sweating. Let me sit down. But we're not for next year. You're not doing that. Next year, you cannot take everybody with you. Next year, you got to be an individual. Next year, you got to be by yourself. It's every man or woman for themselves, but not in a way where you're isolating yourself, but in a way where you're putting your situations first. You're putting your situations first. You're putting your goals first, and anything that hinders that, you got to get rid of. You know what I mean? So if you are partnering yourself with anybody or any group of people, they gotta have the twin flame energy. They cannot just be someone that is just there because they're family, or you've had experiences with them, aka 2025, more of the year nine energy. It's not all about just the people that you had experiences with. It's now, do we have the same vision? Do we have the same goals? Do we have the same drive? Do we have the same um passion? Because Aries energy is passion. And these things are very important. So if you don't have those things, it's gonna hold you back. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be aggressive for your goals, you gotta be aggressive for your vision and the things that you want to manifest in your life, because no one else is gonna do that for you but yourself. And that's what you're gonna learn next year. And it's very important that like you do that, because if you don't, then everything else is not gonna expand for you. Everything's not gonna come the way you want it to come. But the Unite energy was very good. It was very good to teach you the things that maybe you had a blind eye to. You didn't you weren't that experienced in that situation, so you had to go through that experience. And then usually, if you go through experiences that you're not familiar with, 9 out of 10 times you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna have losses and things like that. But it's not for you to completely dwell on and feel bad about. It's more about you realizing that, like, okay, this was something that, you know, it didn't work out for me this way. I tried it this way, it didn't work out. I tried that way, it didn't work out. Okay, now I know, all right, at least I tried. You know what I mean? It's very important. Sometimes, even if you try and you don't make it, that's okay. At least now you know what to do for next time. So now you have that Aries energy where now you're impulsive, but you're impulsive because you've already seen the vision. You know what I'm saying? AKA, year nine, you've seen the vision, you've seen the expansion. Now you can dive into it. You know, you've seen what you need to see. You've experienced what you need to experience. So you already know what identity you're coming with next year. You know, that's the most important thing. So don't if you went through any losses this year, don't feel bad. You know, don't feel bad. Don't blame yourself. Don't have any self guilt. Don't have any self doubt. You were meant to go through that experience for a reason. It's very important. And so when you do come, you know, when you do go next year, you already know what you're gonna do. You know, you already know how to tackle things. You already know how to come about. But yeah, number one is the Aries energy. You know, number two is the Taurus energy. Number three is the Gemini energy. Number four is the Cancer energy. Number five is the Leo energy. Number six is the Virgo energy. Number seven is Libra energy. Number eight is Scorpio energy. And number nine is Sagittarius. Sorry, yeah, I'm sweating. It's very hot, but that's okay. That's what it is. That's that fire energy. That's that Aries energy next year. So we're already getting there. The heat is coming. You know what I mean? And that heat is your passion. That heat is your individuality, your identity that you've created for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you have that warrior energy coming up next year. So and you'll be able to tell. You'll be able to know. Okay, this is not aligned with me, or this is aligned with me. Whether person, place, or thing or environment, you're gonna know now. So it's very important that this remaining days of this year, the remaining season of this year, you're gathering that energy to apply for next year, which is the energy of number one. Everything is restarting again, or shall I say, is really giving birth to something new. You're giving birth to a new self, a new sense of self. You know what I mean? The whole point of next year is that people wouldn't even be able to recognize you. Just the way you move, the way your character is now. The things that you used to tolerate, you don't tolerate it no more. You know what I'm saying? And that can be a shock for other people who are still, old and outdated and still living in the past. You know, they're still clinging on to the past. They're still clinging on to that experience of that old you. So that's not your business and that's not for something for you to hold on to. The whole point for your life is to create something new, to be something new. You know what I'm saying? To be an individual, create your own identity, and you're gonna utilize that Aries energy to burn away any person, place, or thing that is trying to keep you stagnant, trying to keep you and trying to hold you back. You know, you got to utilize that Aries energy, that warrior energy. Whether you're a male or female, it doesn't matter. We all have that energy within us. And if anyone is not being an individual and they're just following the crowd, they're gonna hold themselves back also because they're not aligned with the universal energy. They're not aligned with the universal frequency and the numerology. So it's very important that you're aligned. It's very, 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 very important because everything is synced. Everything is synchronicity, and the more you can sync with the synchronicity of the universe, the more you're in a line. and the more things will play out perfectly for you, you know? So it's very important. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to quickly drop that video. Always remember to, you know, go within, learn the things, all your mistakes, all the things that um you didn't do too good in. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's all about perfecting your mistakes, perfecting your imperfection. And the more you can do that, the more everything else will be aligned for you. So 2026 is going to be a new year of growth, a new year of passion, a new year of your identity. And like I said, you got to be aggressive for it. You cannot use that Sagittarius energy, the Jupiterian energy anymore. This year was like kickback because Sagittarius very kickback, very laid back, doesn't do too much, doesn't really like conflict. Just it trusts to even think because it's mutable fire, right? So it trusts to think for other people, like, okay, I can kind of understand their actions and why they do what they do, but we're not in that energy next year. We're in the energy of, okay, everyone should have learned their lesson, everyone should have gained the wisdom that they gained and become an individual. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it is. You cannot always be thinking for other people. You know what I'm saying? You cannot do that your whole life. Eventually, you gotta be your own individual, and anything that is holding you back, you need to burn that away. You know, that's where that Martian energy comes. That's why I love the Martian energy, Aries or Scorpio, because at the end of the day, life is gonna show you that you're all you got, and you cannot rely on other people and wait for other people to think for themselves. I mean, think for you. You got to think for yourself, and they have to think for themselves also. So yeah, this year, yeah, of course, you can give people grace. You can understand where people are coming from, and because you got that Jupiterian energy, so you're the wise wisdom. You're the wise elderly individual out of your experiences, your environment, or the group of people you surround yourself with. But next year, once next year comes, we're not doing that no more. We're in the year of the one, so you got to be an individual, just like the movie Jet Li. The movie Jet Li was in called The One. He had to bring all his identity and fight against all of them and become that individual one. And that's what we're doing next year. The old self, you got to destroy your old self. All those identities that you created of your old self, you got to destroy it and become the one. You know what I'm saying? Become the top of the pyramid. So that anything that tries to come up to the top of the pyramid that isn't the one will be sent back down. You know what I'm saying? Like in the movie. So it's very important that you know you're still we're still in 2025, so the remaining days you're giving people grace, or you're still experiencing things that you need to experience that you haven't experienced yet. But once it comes to next year, people gotta start being an individual. People gotta start being themselves and stop following the crowd, because if you follow the crowd, then you're not aligned with the universal year. Even though it's people might say, oh, it's the Gregorian calendar, but it doesn't matter, because that was still created based on the alignment of whatever season that we're in. But even you can feel it though. You can feel the energy that it's like you got to be an individual next year. Like whatever experiences you have went through, you went that for a reason, and you had to learn from that. You know. But next year, you have learned all the lessons that you need to learn. Now it's time for you to take action and make things happen. You have to make things happen, because once you start making things happen, that's when everything else will come into fruition. Just like the tree. You know what I'm saying? But you got to make things happen. You got to become an individual. You got to use that Aries energy, you know, and be a warrior. So that's very important. So yeah, guys, always utilize the numerology of whatever year you're in and play into that energy. You know, like this year was all about growth, expansion, experiences, wisdom. Patience. For something to grow, you need to be patient. For something to expand, you need to be patient. But Next year is Aries energy. There is no time for patience. There is no time for that. It's just go, 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 go. And anything that's trying to stop you, you need to just ram through it. You know what I mean? Just ram through it, ram it, just destroy it, whatever you have to do. You know, the things of last year, and when I say last year, I'm talking about this year, when you move on to next year, the things of this year should not be holding you back. Whether a person, place, or thing, whatever you're trying to achieve for next year. You know, it should all be new energy, new people, new environment, new experiences, new passion, new goals, everything new. And if you are bringing people from this year onto next year, they're also on the same timing too. They're on the same energy too. They're trying to create something new. They're trying to be an individual amongst the masses. You know what I mean? That's how it is. No more doing things just to, because, you're trying to understand things, or you're trying to understand people. You're trying to understand. There's no more understanding. We've already done that. We're in the year of the one now. It's time to birth something new. It's time to become who you are and find that true warrior individual and that warrior individual within you. And once you do that, everything else will come into fruition. So, yeah, guys, that's the video for today. Hope you guys gained something new. And until next time, I'll catch you soon.